guys, it's Megan. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing episode 8 in my Create This Book series. If you've missed any of the other episodes, I'll make sure to link them in the playlist down below. So without further ado, let's just get into it. The first page that I decided to do this week says to create a collage. Collect scraps of paper or pictures and paste them all over these 2 pages. I went through my collection of magazine clippings and I decided that I wanted to make a space-themed collage. This page was inspired by a picture of a Barbie astronaut doll that I found in a magazine. I covered the background with these pictures of stars that I found, and I believe that these were from an anti-aging serum ad. I placed the star backgrounds onto the page, and I decided to rip some of the pieces to make it a little bit more interesting. I normally don't cover the directions, but I figured that I could probably remember this one pretty easily, so I decided to cover the directions and make sort of a planet on the bottom of the page. I ripped up strips of green and tan pieces to make it sort of like a striped planet. I really like the look that you can get by ripping up the magazine pages. Next, I arranged the focal images onto the page and then I glued them down. I cut out stars from various places, like the one on the top is a neon sign, and the one on the bottom left is a Lush bath bomb, and I also cut out a moon from a magazine ad. I placed an astronaut Barbie on the right, and to cover up her feet since they were behind this book, I decided to put this like circle thing to make it look like a planet. I found a quote from an old book that I used for another project a long time ago, and I decided to put it at the bottom of the page since I thought that it kind of fit. I cut out each word separately and glued them onto the bottom of the page. The quote says, "Now, I would say to myself, you are feeling alienated from people and unlike other people, therefore you are projecting your discomfort onto them. When you look at a face, you see a blob of rubber, because you're worried that your face is a blob of rubber." It's definitely an interesting quote, and it could be like interpreted in a bunch of different ways, but I put this on this page because of the word alienated since she's in space, and because of the word rubber. Even though I think Barbie dolls are technically made out of plastic, it just seemed to fit kind of. The next thing that I decided to do this week was to finish the rule page. And as many of you guys know, my rule is to put the date and something purple on each page. I decided to do the left side of the page the same way that I did the right side by using my Arteza woodless watercolor pencils. And just as a reminder, I always include the supplies that I use in the description box of the video. I thought that I had used the same color on the left side of the page, but once I added water, I quickly realized that I used the wrong color of purple. I attempted to fix this by going back in with the right color of purple and then adding some more water. I didn't really have much of a plan going into this page. At first I thought that I wanted to put number stickers all over the page, but then I realized that that kind of looked terrible, so I ended up taking those all off. Instead of the number stickers, I decided to draw some mandala designs in the background. I just looked up some simple designs and I drew them on using one of my Micron pens. This doesn't really have anything to do with the rule, I just thought that it would look pretty, and I really like how the black kind of matches the black in the calendar. I just doodled a bunch of mandalas so that it would fill up the entire background, and here's how the finished page turned out. There was definitely a lot of trial and error with this one, but I really like how it looked in the end. And speaking of finishing pages, I also decided that I wanted to add something extra to the front page of the book. I thought the left side of the page looked a little bit empty, so I decided to make some miniature paintings to go on the wall. I guess they're not technically paintings since I didn't really paint any of these, but the first one I decided to make it a Bob Ross inspired picture, and I modeled this after the color by number that I did in the last episode. I outlined the drawing with my Arteza fine liners and I filled it in with my Arteza woodless watercolor pencils. At the top of the drawing, I used a Micron pen to write out "No mistakes, just happy accidents," which is a Bob Ross quote, obviously. For the next picture, I made some scribbles in the background with a colored pencil, and then I added a sticker in the middle of the page that says "Never stop creating." For the last miniature art piece, I took some strips of washi tape and then I put it all over the page, and then I filled in some of the sections with my Arteza water-based markers. Once all of the miniature art pieces were done, I attached them to the page using a glue stick. And here's how the finished page turned out. It's definitely just a minor detail, but I think that it added a lot to the page. The next page that I decided to do says to create chaos. Figure out a way to make this page appear chaotic, jumbled, messy, disorderly. I honestly didn't have a super clear plan going into this page. I decided just to slap some paint on there and see where it took me. I started out by putting a layer of watercolor onto the page, and I don't know if I just used too much water or what, but this bled through the pages so bad. I put a piece of paper behind it, but it even bled through a few pages back, so definitely if you're going to use watercolor, at least this Crayola watercolor, maybe don't do it directly in the book. As you can see, for the other side of the page, I decided to use a separate sheet of paper. I measured the paper to fit in the book, and I traced around the instructions so that I could cut that out later. I used a combination of blue, purple, dark purple, and pink watercolors to make the background. When the watercolor was dry, I went in with the same colors of acrylic paint and also some black, and then I just put dots of that onto the page and then smeared it all over the page. I think that this definitely helped to make the page look a little bit more messy. I did the exact same thing on the page that I did on a separate sheet of paper, and then I cut that out and glued it into the book. To make the page even more chaotic, I decided to draw on some swirls with a black Posca paint pen. I just drew swirls all over the whole entire page. This was always something that I used to do in school. I would just draw random swirls all over a piece of paper for some reason, just when I got bored. I don't know why, but I definitely used to do that all the time. Once the background was done, I decided to draw this girl, and she's just sitting there and she has her hands over her ears, and basically I don't really know like the exact explanation that I want to give for this, but it's like everything, like all of the swirls and everything is like it being very loud, and she just wants it to not be loud, so she's sitting there with her hands on her ears. Because when I think of something chaotic, I think of like a loud and just stressful environment, so maybe this girl, she's just in a very stressful environment and she just wants to kind of block it all out. I don't know, it's definitely open to interpretation, do with that what you will. So I just cut that drawing out and glued it onto the bottom corner of the page, and here's how the finished page turned out. The last page that I decided to do this week says to create an unusual combo. Think of an object. Draw it as if made out of an unusual material. Examples: a ceiling fan made out of donuts, a car made out of flowers. I've been really loving scratch and sniff stickers recently, so I decided to take inspiration from these strawberry and banana ones. I decided to draw two cats, a strawberry cat and a banana cat. And yes, I do know that I've drawn a few cats in this book already, but I do like cats and I want to get better at drawing them, so I decided to draw some for this page. I started by painting the right side of the page pink and the left side a light yellow. And then I moved on to drawing the cats. For this first cat, I decided to make it a strawberry theme. I just drew a cat as you normally would, and then I added like these little leaves on the top of its head. The face didn't exactly come out how I wanted it to, but I still think that it looks fine. I colored in my strawberry cat by first putting on a layer of a light pink Winsor Newton Pro marker. I colored in the nose, the inside of the ears, and the paws with a dark pink marker. I colored in the leaves with a light green with a little bit of a dark green detail, and then I colored the eyes a light green as well. I colored in the pupils with a black micron pen, and then I moved on to adding some stripes. I added stripes onto the cat using a red Crayola colored pencil. I just added some stripes and dots onto the face, and then stripes all over the body. I know when you think of a strawberry, you don't really think of stripes, but I was more making this like the color of a strawberry. I had originally thought about putting dots all over the cat, but I decided against it because I thought that this would look a little bit better. Once the cat was colored in, I used one of the scratch and sniff stickers to make the charm for the collar. Next, I moved on to drawing the banana cat. So for the banana cat, I decided to color the whole thing a light yellow. I made the inside of the ears and the paws a dark yellow. I made this cat have its eyes closed just to make it a little bit different, and honestly, it's way easier to draw closed eyes. I colored in the nose pink and the collar a dark yellow, and I gave the cat stripes using a yellow Crayola colored pencil. I made the charm for the collar by using one of the banana scented scratch and sniff stickers. I colored in the word unusual with a purple colored pencil so that I would follow my rule, and then I glued the pictures of the cats onto the page. I put the banana cat on the pink side and the strawberry cat on the yellow side just to add a little bit of contrast. I decorated the background of the strawberry cat with the strawberry scratch and sniff stickers, and the background for the banana cat with the banana scratch and sniff stickers. And here's how the finished page turned out. These definitely aren't the best drawings, but I feel like the scratch and sniff stickers make up for that. So here are today's shoutouts. If you want a shout out in my next video, go on to my Kermit the Frog painting tutorial that I posted on Monday and comment what your favorite app is. It can be an iPhone app, an iPad app, or any other type of app. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and as always, make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one, and make sure to follow me on Instagram. It is @WellerMegs, and yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!